motion to approve the rezoning from DPUD M1 to a straight M1 zoning.
That's ordinance number BR 16-17.
Okay, so just to clarify, that's going to be ordinance, where is that listed?
BR
B-
618 2026-17.
BR 618 2026-18?
17.
17. Okay. Is there a motion to approve? We're doing a first, second? Okay. This will be a single reading. Okay, motion by Doug, second by Kathy, open for discussion. No further discussion, we'll take a vote. Doug DeSmith?
Yes.
Tony Davidson?
No.
Kathy Burke?
Yes.
Greg Tuholski?
Yes.
And Jeff Beach is a yes. Motion carries. Okay. Next, we've got reports. Mike?
We have a series of SRF funding requests to approve tonight. You can do them all in one fell swoop, I guess, approving A, B, C, D, and E.
Okay, and these are for,
The A, B, and C are for the water project. D and C are the wastewater treatment plant.
Before we do that, can we please pause? I need signatures so that,
oh, for Danny?
yep,
Okay.
Danny May can go.
Yep.
On this, we'll sign your name and write yes or no, that way they know how you vote it, and all three copies need to be signed.
First three for water.
First three are water. Last two are wastewater treatment plant.
Thank you.
Okay. So next item will be town manager reports. There are 5 SRF disbursement payments to be made. The first 3, SRF disbursement 62 in the amount of $177,745 to Phoenix Fabricators with $9,355 in retainage. Next one is SRF disbursement 63 in the amount of $43,647 to JPR. The third one, SRF disbursement number 64 in the amount of $765,788 to Niblock with $40,305 in retainage. These 3 are for the water treatment or the water project. Is there a motion to approve these 3 on one reading?
I'll make that.
Okay, motion by Kathy, second by Tony. Open for discussion. No further discussion, we'll take a vote. Doug DeSmith?
Yes.
Tony Davidson?
Yes.
Kathy Burke?
Yes.
Greg Tuholski? And Jeff Beach is a yes. Motion carries. Next 2 are SRF disbursement number 53 in the amount of $46,873 to Commonwealth Engineering. Next one is SRF disbursement number 54 in the amount of $230,052 to Crosby Construction, with $12,108 in retainage. Is there a motion to approve these two SRF disbursements? Okay, motion by Doug, second by Tony, open for discussion. No further discussion, we'll take a vote. Doug DeSmith?
Yes.
Tony Davidson?
Yes.
Kathy Burke?
Yes.
Greg Tuhulski?
Yes.
And Jeff Beach is a yes. Motion carries. Okay. Anything else, Mike?
Nope, that's it.
Okay. Then we will move on to next item. We'll move on to our, oh, Kathy, anything tonight? Sorry.
I just have a couple of announcements. Budget season will be starting. The new Budget 2.0 system is now live on Gateway. We will be utilizing that and more to come on the budget going forward.
Okay.
We have a silent auction tomorrow night for our old street lamps. It will be held at the old, or the new garage location on Maple Street from 4:30 to 6 p.m. Silent auction for one or as many as you want to purchase. That will be over at 6 o'clock. And then once that's over, there is a Hometown Summer Nights event. It will be held at the Municipal Complex. There's a band called Off Topic that will be there performing from 6 to 9. The purpose, because of all the construction that's going on, is to have people come buy their lunch or, dinner in this case, from Mancino's or the Redbird or Subway. Come sit and enjoy some music and enjoy your neighbors.
Okay, so if you couldn't hear that, budget season is upon us, so we are starting our budget for 2027. Next is we're having a silent auction for our old street lights. With the construction we're doing downtown, we're installing new street lights, so there will be a silent auction tomorrow from 4:30 to 6, and we will be auctioning off the lights, and that will be at the new under construction street department, which is across from Robert Weed. That will be from 4:30 to 6, and then directly after that, we have our Hometown Summer Nights. So we'll have a band downtown at the Municipal Complex, so if you want to come down and get dinner from Mancino's, the Redbird, Subway, we will have a band for everyone to enjoy. So, anything else, Kathy?
That's it. Thank
Okay.
you.
Anybody have anything for Kathy? Okay. Next item, Fire Chief. Nick, what do you have for us tonight? Okay, sounds good. While you're doing that, I'll pull up your report. Yep, thank you.
Good evening. How is everybody today?
Doing well.
Quick report for June. I'm not used to going before the marshal. I don't know how this happened,
I
but
love the same thing.
wasn't my doing.
Way to shake it up.
We had 118 emergency calls in May, 406 responses. There's a list of them there. Just to point out a couple in my next page of the report. To report that we had a very busy month in May, and it continued here in June with several serious, unusual type calls. For example, one house explosion north of town that somebody was hurt at, flash fire in a paint booth, which isn't normal for us, and then working on the EF2 tornado cleanup and things of that nature that evening was a little different for us, not used to that type of stuff, but nothing we couldn't handle and took care of greatly. We'd also like to extend our sincere thank you to our surrounding mutual aid departments that helped us with these unusual calls. Without them, it would be very, very difficult to have the service that we do have. We do appreciate that. We want to remind our folks, our citizens, that when we're celebrating the upcoming July 4th holiday, that we're careful with the fireworks. Use caution, use lots of water close by, things of that nature. We prefer that you attend a public fireworks display whenever possible. They're conducted by trained professionals. It's a little bit better for you and a lot better for us. Be mindful of the increased traffic and pedestrian activity throughout the next couple weeks in the holiday season. Stay hydrated. If you're going to grill, make sure you keep it away from your house and your buildings on your property. we want to wish everybody a very happy, safe 4th of July. My last thing I want to talk about quickly is we are going to have a blood drive with a partnership with the South Bend Medical Foundation. It'll be Saturday, July 11th of homecoming. It'll be at the fire department from 10 to 1. Use the QR code to sign up or go givebloodnow.com to sign up. We need a minimum of, I believe, 10 folks to sign up so we can have that. The reason this is important to us is we partner with Elkhart City Fire Department, who carries whole blood in their ambulances, and we've used it twice now, where they've met us on scene with one medical issue and one trauma issue that we had to give blood to. And that is something that's where they get their blood, is through the South Bend Medical Foundation, and we would like all our community members to come and give blood that day. Other than that, I'll entertain any questions.
What day was that again?
July 11th. Yep.
Thank you.
Yeah. We'll take walk-ins too if you forget to sign up.
Okay, any other questions for Chief? If not, thank you, Chief, for all you do for us, and sorry you guys are so busy recently, but we appreciate everything you do, and we pray that you all stay safe and that you have a slow weekend.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. All right, next up, Steve, what do you have for us tonight?
Okay, good evening. We have the May report from Bristol Police Department for calls for services. We took 762 calls for services in the month of May. We had 24 in custody arrests. We initiated 445 traffic stops, 145 citations, 63 warnings. Took 77 case reports, impounded 17 vehicles. We drove 18,775 miles and had 22 and a half hours overtime. I don't know if you noticed, it was a different format of the report that we sent to the board. It's a little more detailed. It breaks it down by different types of cases. And actually, I was kind of shocked because this is the new CAD system that the county went to. It gave a better, a more accurate picture of actually what we're doing. And it kind of surprised me because I think we were under-reporting all these years under the old system. So it was kind of, I won't say shocking, but it does paint a really good picture that we are busy, just like the fire department. I can attest because we see them out all the time with us. And the weather the other night was kind of interesting for us. Just short story, we had a car pedestrian accident that happened about 10 minutes downtown right before the weather hit. So we had our officers out there in the middle of a tornado trying to render aid and work the accident. So that was a little unusual. Everything worked out fine. Fortunately, the 8-year-old bike rider, we thought it was going to be a fatality, ended up going to be survive and I think be okay. So that's good news there.
That's good news.
Last thing, code enforcement, our ordinance officer, he wrote 1 warning for trash on property, 26 tall grass, 18 sign and devices violations, 10 illegal parking, 1 nuisance issued, 1 other. All these reports, 55 were generated from our code enforcement officer and 2 came from citizen complaints. And I have nothing else unless anybody has any questions.
Okay, anybody have questions for Steve? Okay, if not, thank you, Steve, for all you do and for all your officers. Appreciate everything you do for us, and we pray that you stay safe as well. Okay, Alex, anything this evening? Okay. Next, the next item on the agenda is going to be privilege of the floor, but before we get into that, I do need to read. I'm going to read a couple things. I'm going to start off with what I ended our meeting with 2 weeks ago. In the spirit of transparency, I read a list of questions that came up in the past and responses to those. So I will read this again. And I will ask that this is just a statement. It's not posed for questions, so just a statement. First and foremost, item number one, is a data center going to be built on the Kaufman or Wilhelm properties? The answer to that is the town does not know if one will be built or not. Has the town spoken directly with any data center owners? The town council has not spoken to any data center owners. However, the town manager has met with data center developers. And specifically, if we go back 3 years ago to the Province Group, if you recall, they had approached the town to build a data center. Our town manager spoke with them at the time, but he has not, the town has not spoken with any data center owners at all. Has the town spoken with any developers for a data center? Again, the town manager has spoken with the Province Group in the past. The context of this question is the same as any new business locating in Bristol. Good example is, what is the current zoning? What is the zoning process if needed? What are the development standards? Questions about water, sewer capacity. Facilitating contract with NIPSCO for natural gas and electricity. These conversations include Elkhart County Economic Development Corporation staff. If tax incentives are requested, it's typically during the second or third meeting. To date, none of the data center developers have inquired about incentives. The town manager has met with a total of 6 data center developers in the last 5 years. Unlike other typical commercial developers, data center development and titles entities have building and site requirements that require many months of due diligence work to be accomplished on a potential site. Have any tax abatements been approved for a data center? No. It is a public process. When that happens, everyone will know it is a public process. Is there currently property zoned for a data center? The answer to that is yes. The Wilhelm Trust property is currently zoned as M1 exclusively for a data center. Why did the town of Bristol annex the Kaufman property? The Kaufmans approached the town for a voluntary annexation. And because of any town's sustainability includes continued growth in both commercial and residential users, we approved that annexation request. Why are they requesting rezoning of the property? Because towns annex land to facilitate development. There is no need to annex the land if it's going to stay agricultural. Is the current rezoning request of the Kaufman and Wilhelm properties specific to a data center? No, it is not. However, it does contemplate a data center complex. If the rezoning is approved, what type of businesses could be located on the Kaufman and Wilhelm properties? It could be a number of uses. It could be a trailer factory. It could be a smelting plant. It could be a scrapyard. It could be a data center. It could be food production facilities. It could be any number of M1 uses that are approved by Elkhart County. Next question. Is the town manager position an elected or appointed position? The town manager is hired and fired by the council. This position is an at-will employment position. Does the current town manager live within the town limits of Bristol? The town manager is not required to live within the town limits. In fact, and I brought this up at the last meeting, prior to our current town manager, we had Michael Mitchell, who was our town manager for 5 years. Not only did Michael Mitchell not live in Bristol, he didn't even live in the state of Indiana. He was required to move to Bristol within 6 months of his hire date. Because of that, because he failed to do that, and for other reasons, he was relieved of his duties. So, but the town manager is not required to live within the town limits of Bristol. Do all town council members live within the town limits of Bristol? The answer to that question is yes. All 5 of us live within the town limits. There was a question last time about living in Florida or Warsaw, or if we're just part-time residents here. And the answer to that is we are all full-time residents. Comments have been made that the Bristol Town Council is taking money under the table to approve a data center. As a council member, I speak for all 5 of us. We take great offense to that. There's absolutely no truth to it. I told you last time at the meeting, I announced this last time at the meeting, and I'll say it again. If you think there's any impropriety or money being taken under the table, I implore you, I beg you, call Todd Rokita's office, report us, provide him with the facts that you have, and report us. If you think we're taking money, please, I want to be reported. Was there a public announcement regarding the resignation of Councilmember Dean Renfro? Yes. That was announced at the April 2nd, 2026 meeting by the council president, myself. What was the process for replacing Dean Renfro's council seat? A Republican caucus was held. It was held by the Republican committee. How was Tony Davidson put in place to replace Dean Renfro? Through that caucus process, which again was held by the Republican Party. That caucus was held by the Republican Party in the conference room of the Bristol Town Hall. But it was managed, and the process was followed by the Republican committee. We simply allowed them to use our venue for the caucus. Why are comments turned off on the Bristol Facebook page? The primary purpose of the page is to convey information to the public. If anyone has specific questions, concerns, or a problem, they will receive quick and accurate responses by contacting town hall staff or calling or emailing any one of the council members. All of our emails are listed on our web page and our Facebook page. In addition, businesses and people looking to locate in Bristol will occasionally search a municipality's social media page. We have made the decision to not allow predominantly non-town residents to post inaccurate information and negative personal opinions about the town. We believe these do not represent the true character of Bristol or its residents. Next question. Next couple questions pertain to the flock cameras. Did the town pay for the flock cameras? They are not purchased, they are leased. The funds from our police department budget are what are used to pay for those lease payments. Do flock cameras have facial recognition? No, they do not. Next question. Are the flock cameras connected to a potential data center? No, they are not. Next question. This is a fun one. Why is there so much road construction in Bristol? We all like that one. Simple answer is because we're lucky. We've experienced a lot of commercial and economic development success, and because of that, the state of Indiana, specifically our downtown corridor, is spending NDOT money to rebuild State Road 120, our main corridor. That will go on through this construction season, through this year, and it will extend into next year, and they'll go south on State Road 15 from the current intersection of State Road 120 and 15 south, and then they will also continue to the west. Why did the town spend so much money on the new treatment plant and water system? Simply put, the old wastewater treatment plant was falling apart. when we say they were holding it together with baler twine and wire and duct tape, that's not a lie. The technology that has been in place has been there for the better part of 40 years. It was failing. We were spending more time on breakdowns and failures than we cared to do. So it was a necessity. Did we want to spend that money? No, we didn't, but we needed to. On the water side, our water system was not a looped system, so it had dead ends. And Chief Gantz and Assistant Chief Haynes can attest to this. If you go up on County Road 8 to the west, right by Bravo trailers, well, the old Bravo trailers and Formula trailers, there was a dead end. If they needed to fight a fire somewhere in that area, they would be trucking water in because the water lines wouldn't sustain what they needed. So that was the need for the water system. So you have an outdated wastewater treatment plant and a water system that was not looped. The water tower that we have now, the newly constructed water tower is 1 million gallons. I think the old one was
350.
how much?
350,000.
350,000 gallons, so it's triple the size. One of the benefits for that, for the fire department, is by expanding our water system and our water tower, it provides our businesses in town with better fire protection, which gives them the ability to reduce their insurance rates. Last comment I'll make, and this goes to social media. If you make threats against the Bristol Town Council members or employees or other elected officials in Elkhart County for that matter, you need to be prepared to face the consequences of those threats. We will not tolerate this type of behavior, and any such threat will be turned over to the prosecutor's office and dealt with swiftly. Okay. With that said, I'm going to read our rules of conduct for our privilege of the floor, otherwise known as public comment section. 3-minute limit. Public speakers are limited to 3 minutes. Each speaker is allowed to speak one time. An attendee may speak only once during the public comment period unless the presiding officer allows otherwise. Speakers may not give their time to other people to use. Please stay on topic during public hearings. For example, the rezoning that we just did, that would have been a part of that when we get to the public. The privilege of the floor, pretty much any comment could be made as long as it's within reason. Be courteous. There is no back and forth debate. Speakers and attendees may not engage in debate or discussion with council members, officials, or other speakers or other attendees. Council responses are optional. The council may respond to questions or comments, but we are not required to do so. There is a 30-minute time limit on the privilege of the floor. If we choose as a council to extend that, we can do that. Before you speak, please state your name, your address, and we will enter that into the public record. All speakers must be orderly and respectful. Speakers must avoid disorderly speech or action, name-calling, personal attacks, obscene or indecent remarks, derogatory comments about personalities, and comments about private activities, lifestyles, or beliefs of others that are unrelated to town council business. presiding officer has the authority to maintain order and regulate the conduct of the meeting. A person who violates the public comment rules may be declared out of order and receive a warning. If an attendee receives 3 warnings, the presiding officer may direct the attendee to leave and may direct law enforcement to remove the attendees if the attendees refuse to leave. Okay, so those are our rules. I am going to defer to legal counsel. Before we start the public comment section, I want to defer to legal counsel. Do we have the microphone for Alex? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I know there's been a request, Elizabeth, you put out a request for a moratorium. I'm going to have our legal counsel, Alex Bowman, discuss that for a moment.
Thank you, Jeff. At the conclusion of the last public meeting, I was asked to delve into the issue from a legal standpoint and to advise the council on the request made of those that appeared and remonstrated during the public comment period. I'm advising, so my advice here is to the council. What I was able to determine from my legal research, based upon some Indiana appellate case law, the request for a land use moratorium, so a restriction on a particular land use in a particular area of a municipality, is considered to be a zoning ordinance. Zoning ordinances under statute, again, this is Indiana statute, follow a particular process and procedure that's spelled out by the Indiana Code. And effectively, based upon the request that was made at the last public meeting, the request for an immediate moratorium, effectively, my legal research determined that action would not be permitted by you as a council in the current form. That's the conclusion of that research. I wanted to make sure you were apprised of that, both for your knowledge and for the edification of the public speakers who may appear before you, so that everyone has that information. Happy to answer questions to the extent that I can, but that's my deference to you.
Okay, thank you, Alex. Anybody have questions for Alex regarding that? Okay, so here's where we are with the moratorium. You just heard Alex's legal description of that. So the request for a moratorium on a data center goes specifically to, we believe goes specifically to the rezoning request. Is that correct, Elizabeth? Yes, yes, you can speak.
Yes, actually I didn't specify whether it's a non-zoning or zoning moratorium. I am requesting a non-zoning moratorium to help protect the public health and safety of the residents of Bristol.
Okay. So, as legal counsel just advised us, we cannot override, we can't approve a moratorium for Elkhart County because it's a zoning law.
I'm not asking for a zoning moratorium.
Well, that's in essence what it comes down to.
No, that's two separate moratoriums. He needs to
Okay.
go back to the statute.
So we are not allowed to make a moratorium on
Land use restriction.
a land use restriction because it is a county ordinance. So in essence, we're not allowed to do that. Okay. So with that said, I will open up the podium to public comment. So if you would like to make public comment, please step up to the microphone State your name and address, and you will have 3 minutes to speak.
My name is John Niemeyer. I have lived in Bristol since 1947. My dad and my mom bought a hardware store in town after World War II. My dad was a war worker in Mishawaka Ball Band, and just what I've seen happen to this town in those years, it just breaks my heart. It's not the town it used to be. And granted, we don't want to go back to 1947, but there's been so many things, and it just hurts. 1966, they closed our high school that I went to and graduated from, and now this year they closed the grade school. And I know that you guys, that's not your problem, but I just think it's just sad to what's happening to town, and it sure isn't the town that we moved to and I grew up in. And I just ask you to vote against this data center. Don't allow it to come in to further hurt the town. I heard somebody make the comment the other day that it looks like we're trying to turn it into another Gary, Indiana. And that kind of hit home when you think of the old smokestacks and all the stuff you used to see when you went through Gary. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Niemeyer. And can you state your address, please?
It's 53258 Bellhurst Drive, Bristol.
Thank you.
I'm Anna Ruth Hirschberger. I'm at DeCamp Avenue in Elkhart. I am disappointed because in our last meeting, you were all saying that a server farm hasn't gone up, there's no AI building, which is great, I appreciate hearing that. But what really frustrated me was when I heard someone say they were disappointed in Elizabeth for calling all these people in a time when we are trying to get more people actively involved in politics. Hearing that was really frustrating to me because she's done a great job. If you folks are trying to get our trust, all you have to do is say, hey, no problem. We hear what you're saying. You do not want an AI building up here, and we will honor that. That's, if you would make that promise, that's all you have to do, and then you don't need all these police officers. We're here because we care for each other. We're here because we care for the land. We're here because we care for our community. So when you are up here and kind of chastising someone for getting people involved because it doesn't allow people to talk about their trash, it doesn't help us have a sense of trust. So if you could just say, we won't put an AI building up, that would be great. It's pretty easy.
Thank you, Ms. Hirschberger.
Hi Jeff, how you doing?
Good, Melissa, how are you?
Oh, good. Hi guys.
Turn it on, Melissa. Melissa, turn the microphone on.
Where? What?
There's a button. There you go. Push.
Green light's lit. It's lit. Is it on? It's lit. Hello? It's lit. It's on. Hello?
I'll start the clock again, don't worry.
Yeah, it's lit. It's on. I can yell really loud. I'm good at it. I know you can. Can everybody hear me? I can talk loud. Is that good for everybody? All right, let's do this. Here's my question. No, I'm good, John. I got a good voice. See, it don't work.
Where's our, better use your mic, easy. Share the mic.
Here comes the expert. She's got this.
Melissa, we can hear you, so go ahead.
Yeah, I'll just go ahead. I can.
And I'll restart your clock. Hold on. I'm from the US. Go ahead.
Test.
Okay.
Maybe I just wasn't close enough to the base. Is that what it was? I gotta go hug Jeff to get this to work.
That's it. Now let's try.
I don't even have to yell now?
No.
This is great. This is awesome. I'll wait for you to restart the clock. I don't want to run out of time. All right, let's go. So here's my question. When we first started Jesus, criminy.
There you go.
All right, I'm going to stay over here because it seems to work better if I stay close to Jeff.
There you go.
So when we first started this, you guys said that you did all these things because if you guys annexed the land, you had control of it. You could make sure you protected it. You didn't want the county to have control of it because you would be able to say what was going to happen to it, what was going to go on with it. But I just heard you tell her you can't do that because now the county's going to tell you what to do with it. You can't moratorium because the county's going to do it. How is it you have control but you don't have control? That seems to be a bit of a contradictory there. So I'll let you answer that, but I don't want to lose my time because I have another question. This one goes to Mr. Davidson, the new guy. So I understood when you introduced yourself, you said you worked with the Florida Senate or on the Florida Senate, and then you were with the Sheriff's Department. So I'm one of those who likes to go check things out.
Good.
I couldn't find any record of that.
You won't.
Why is that?
I can't believe that right now. No comment.
Well, I'm gonna have a big problem with that, and I'm gonna bet everybody else here is gonna have a big problem if you're gonna introduce yourself as saying I work for the Florida Senate.
I
or
work for a Florida senator for Florida District,
Yep.
State of Florida, District 10, Senator Jenny Brown Wade. I can give you her contact information, okay? And that's
Okay.
who I worked for.
What exactly would you have done?
I did constituent work for her.
Constituent work. What
Yes.
did you do with the Sheriff's Department?
I can't go into that.
So you were a locksmith who became a guy who worked for the Senate, went to the Sheriff's Department, but you came back here and went back to being a locksmith, and now you want to work on the town council. Somehow this just, I don't know, I'm just one of those, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but we'll let that go. We'll let that go. I'll keep digging. I'll get back to you on that.
Okay, you do that.
I'll get back to you on that. But we'll go back to, why is it we had control, we don't have control, you can't do a moratorium? So what you're suggesting is that maybe what we need is a county-wide moratorium, because they're suggesting we need 2 more databases. How about we do
Melissa, you've got 21 seconds left.
I'll let you have it.
Okay, thank you. Anything, Lester?
There, finally came on. Lester Otto, 18686 County Road 23, Bristol, Indiana. I have 2 issues. I don't want a moratorium. I want a complete ban. I don't ever want to hear of a data center in the state of Indiana, a new one. And that's what I'm going to be working on. Second item, I have a pocket version of the Constitution, and I carry it with me almost all the time. I have read it from beginning to end, and there's nowhere that in the Constitution it gives elected officials the right to limit speech of the public. Nowhere in there. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rowell.
Patsy Buckland, 56260 Dana Drive, Bristol, Indiana. I have a little bit different point of view because I was reading in a farm magazine about data centers and that the demand is accelerating, driven by the use of AI. Farmers use AI to steer their tractors, to do a lot of things. So they need them, but it's the placement that matters. It's an opportunity and a risk for agriculture. Farmland is the basis and the foundation of our agricultural production, and it's a generational asset for farm families. But once it's converted to industry, it rarely returns. But modern ag is deeply connected to AI and the digital economy, precision agriculture, cloud-based management of tools and data, analytics, so they rely on it. But currently, there are almost 5,000 already active or under construction data centers across the US. Virginia and Texas are the leaders. There are 76 in Michigan. But they use hundreds of megawatts of power. Increasingly in rural areas, the land availability and energy access, proximity to transmission lines make it more feasible. But the investment is significant, 9 to 15 million per megawatt. And it's coming whether we want it or not. It's how we manage it that makes a difference. And being honest about it and open about it is what's going to matter the most. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Buckland.
Can you hear me? Or does it stop working? Yeah, turn it on.
Now, can you hear me?
Yeah, so when you get done speaking, don't turn the microphone off, just put it down, please.
So, Travis Smith, 19975 Emerald Chase Lane, Goshen, Indiana. Yep, Goshen. I'm less than a half mile away from where you're going to put this crap. So, what I'd like to say, what I'm here to remind you is we should not all be here for us. We're not here for us tonight. We're here for our children. And we're here for their grandchildren. Okay? Now, I want to remind you guys, because they're your children and grandchildren too, right? I also want to remind you that God uses the wilderness plenty of times in the Bible to shape a man and to shape a ministry. And we need to take care of what he gave us. And the day that this thing here puts food on my table, gives me clean water, and puts a roof over my head is when I'll start worshiping this. But until then, I only worship one person. That's all I got to say.
Thank you, Mr. Griffin.
My name is Jim Huey. I live at 53631 Pheasant Ridge Drive. I really only have, I guess, one thing to say is that I've been to many meetings, many zoning hearings, done that. I work for Meridian Title, and it just, how in your good conscience can a board of, say, 6 vote against what the public wants when you're supposed to represent the public? That's all I have to ask.
Thank you, Mr. Hughes.
Test. Hi, my name is Elizabeth Hall, 54800 County Road 27. And yes, I agree with you, Alex, that most moratoriums are land use based, but you can use your police powers to enact this temporary 1-year moratorium for the public health and safety. That includes public health, water supply, wastewater capacity, emergency services, road capacity and traffic safety, noise, environmental impacts, and electrical infrastructures. A lot of states, a lot of counties, a lot of local municipalities are using police power to implement these non-zoning moratoriums. It's been done across the state, across multiple states. It is happening all over the place. So that is what I'm requesting, a non-zoning. And so what that would be, if you enacted or voted on a non-zoning moratorium, that would definitely mean that you would go back to work and look at the impact studies before sending that DPUD to the county. I know you already have, so that DUPD will have to come back to you, and you would have to revise it, and JPR will have to resubmit that DPUD to make sure that the moratorium, the health and public safety, non-zoning moratorium, and the impact studies are done before county can even vote on it. And so municipalities are 100% enacting non-zoning moratoriums. It's being done today. And in fact, I've been a part of 4 of them. And they were all non-zoning moratoriums. Gallup released the first ever national poll. Gallup polls have been enacted since 1930. 71% of Americans in May of 2026, 71% oppose data centers across the United States. These Gallup polls have been enacted since 1930. They're accredited polling, statistical analysis. Please pay attention to them. I'm pretty sure Bristol is about 98%, and we're about ready to prove it to this council. So my request is a non-zoning moratorium, and you do have the police powers to enact that and vote on it. So please check your facts again, Alex. Marshall County, I just want to make sure the fire marshal chief is listening. Marshall County, Indiana just banned data centers, not a moratorium. In those discoveries, the fire department is all going to be replaced, and that's why they banned it. Because these systems, these best systems, these data centers, when they catch fire, and oh, by the way, they do, you have to bury them. And the data center came in, the developer said, we have to replace all your firefighters because they're not trained, they're not certified to bury these, and they can't fight these fires. The fire department went you know what. And so Marshall County just
Elizabeth, I
banned
hate
data
to do this,
centers.
but you're out of time. Thank you.
Don't know if this is working. I'm Steve Carlson. I live at 3346 Bridgetown Road in Bristol. And I just have a question for each of you. Obviously, there are a lot of people in this town who do not want this data center. The sense is that the council does want the data center. I'd like to know why, and if it's just because of tax revenue. Do we really want to jeopardize our quality of life for a few bucks? That's my question.
Thank you, Mr. Carlson, for your comment.
I'm Terry Schmidt. Our address is 20264 County Road 14, Bristol. Going forward, anybody that comes up to the mic, I hope they agree with Elizabeth, Paul, on the moratorium for the safe and health. It's a non-zoning moratorium, so please say you agree with that and sign any petition that you can. I have several questions. Has the town council reviewed the DPUD that was submitted to the county and they're going to vote on July 9th? Show up. The current DPUD is 80 decibels day and night. Yes, 80 decibels. What impact studies have you done, or what impact studies have you required? Why have no restrictions in the DPUD been put on water usage and power grids? And why not? If there isn't a data center coming, why are you not protecting the Bristol citizens? If you're saying that there's no data center, then you should be putting in guidelines. And the DPUD does not have any guidelines. In fact, I mean, they basically have an open checkbook to do whatever they want with that site. Do you have a response?
We're just hearing comments.
Okay, second, why is JPR telling residents in their private meetings that 225 acres of wetlands that are going to be filled in will only take 3 years to recover once they move the wetland? What study did they use? My DNR sources have told me it takes 50 years for a wetland to be restored. And since 2014, the wetlands are no longer protected, and you can thank Mike Braun for that. Question for Alex Bowman. I finally received my response from Kathy Antonelli, the town clerk, treasurer, who I've been requesting meeting notes, work sessions, drafts, agendas that have not been posted. You guys have not been approving meetings on a regular basis. It is under Indiana state law that you have to require it within 7 days when I request it. And guess what? I finally got it at 4 p.m. today. Not the actual documents, but just the request for payment. And now I have to go and get the documents. But it's taken you 18 days to respond instead of 7. That's my question for Alex, because I feel like you told her not to respond. Because you're copied in the email. Last question. The EDC and the Chamber of Commerce is holding a private meeting on data centers in July. Why is that, if there's no data center coming?
I have no idea. You would have to ask the EDC.
Well, we are.
Or the chamber. Thank you for your comments.
Hello, my name is Mandy Purvis. I live at 20357 Longbow Court in Bristol. I've been a resident there for about 2.5 years, but I've grown up in this area for 39 years. I don't know if you guys ever played music or DJ'd or know how heat rises, but if you've ever touched the top of a VCR, it gains heat. If you had a table full of amps and VCRs, it's going to heat up really quick. That room is going to heat up very quick. That's what's going to happen to our atmosphere. Not to mention, there's been over 1,000 data centers that have been built in the nation. The heat from these data centers have caused significant drought, harming crops and livestock, as well as wildlife. The storms and the hail are getting larger. You didn't notice that yesterday, and it's going to continue to get larger from the heat that is emitting off of these data centers. There was a woman in Texas that was just arrested for showing brown water from the data center. Why is that? Why does the repercussions matter than the build of it itself? Not to mention the construction will be right by the Humane Society. The decibels reach over 83 decibels at most data centers. So what does that do to the animals of the Humane Society and the people near and in around the area? We are 73% made of water. What does detrimental sound do to the body over time? Certain frequencies can heal the body. They do that at hospitals. But certain decibel sounds can absolutely destroy it. I think we need to think about this at all angles, need to be reconsidered before building this. Have you ever seen the movie WALL-E from Disney? If you haven't, I think we need to watch that, because maybe that wasn't a movie. Maybe that's a projection to our future. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
You know me, Anthony Stesch.
Hi, Anthony.
302 North River Road, Bristol. Back in '24, when all this first came about, there was a lot of people that showed up speaking against it, and we pushed it through anyways. I guess my question to the council team is, if you're representing the people of Bristol, why are we representing some random business from out of town first? And that's partially why I decided to run for town council this round. First of all, I appreciate a lot of what you guys do, because you do a lot of stuff all the time that's not paid for. But there's also got to be, like, this is a time where it's a voted in position, and when you're voted in by the people, you're supposed to be for the people. I would like to see more of that in the town of Bristol. And the environmental impact that I've been doing a lot of research on these things, and they are pretty bad of what they're doing to the surrounding people. When you have the tech company come in and say, hey, you know, this is what it's going to do to the environment and everything, I don't trust them, because they're going to be one-sided, lopsided, whatever. But I would highly recommend third-party checking into water, also fuel, the amount of fuel those generators use that run the data centers. 900 gallons a day on one generator out of what, 25 generators? And here in the county, we have signs that say, turn off your vehicle when you're waiting on a train, help save the environment. And that's just kind of an oxymoron to me, that the county is even okay with allowing Bristol or anywhere in Elkhart County to have a data center. Is just crazy to me. That being said, I do use a little bit of AI, not much, not enough for me to be worth ruining our environment for it. So thank you for considering that.
Thank you, Anthony.
My name is Martin Dean. I live at 17664 US Highway 20 in Goshen, Indiana. I'm very new to this, the whole idea of the data center, but one of the things I saw was and this has nothing to do with you unless you annex it as well, but one of the possible sites for a county data center is right across the street from my house. And we have, you know, we really learned to enjoy the farmland that's, you know, right across the street, right across US Highway 20. And then, so since I'm so new to this, I did, you know, a quick online search about data centers and their impact on water. And because of their huge consumption of water, supposedly they can lower aquifers, lower groundwater tables, which means one of these mornings I will wake up to make my coffee, and it will be sludge because my well is run dry. And the potential for harm, for me, totally outweighs the risks that you're taking are with my grandchildren and with, like I said, I'm a little new to this, but I think if I wake up one morning and I can point to a data center across the street as harming my water, I think somebody will be held accountable, and I'm looking at 5 people who would need to be held accountable, and we would be having a totally different conversation, less friendly than tonight. So I just wanted to say, I'm not just on what I've read today. We can't do this, and that's all I have.
Thank you, Mr. Dean. Okay, so Bob, before you come up, we are at 30 minutes, which is our ordinance. So I will poll the council. Do we extend the privilege of the floor? Is there a motion to extend? Okay, there's a motion by Greg to extend, second by Tony. Do you have a time limit, Greg? Okay, he said no time limit. So second that, Tony, are you? Okay, so there's a motion by Greg to extend with no time limit. Second by Tony. Open for discussion. I'm fine with it. Yeah. Okay, so take a vote. Doug DeSmith.
Yes.
Tony Davidson. Kathy Burke. Greg Tuholsky. And Jeff Beach is yes. So, Bob, come on up. You're welcome.
Once again, fellow Bristolites, I just want to say hello and got a question for you. Last time I was up here, 2 weeks ago.
Bob, name and address, please.
Oh, yeah, Bob
I know
Shell.
who you are, but.
Bob Shell, 17505 County Road 2. Okay, so last time I talked to you guys, I asked you if you would take some time to talk to residents of other areas. Show of hands, how many actually reached out from one of the communities and asked the residents of that area? 1, 2, 3, 4? Really? What was your problem? Oh, 5. Okay, so what was the feedback?
Well, we're just taking information in, Bob, so, I mean.
I understand, but I mean, you know, come on, we can have
So
a nice,
if-
casual conversation, can't we?
So if we debate back and forth, it's gonna,
Oh, no, I don't want to get into a debate. I just wanted to find out what you found out when you talked to these people.
I can say I got mixed reaction.
Mixed reaction, okay. I'm not against, you know, progression. I'm really not, okay? I think there's certain places that is ideal and other places it's not. My biggest concern is,
Is the light on?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me swap microphones with you.
Hello, oh, there you go. Hello? Yeah, there we go, perfect. Yeah, so I guess my other question is this, do we have any idea, because I know the first aquifer I hit is right around 12 to 14 feet where I live, and then you gotta go down another 60 feet. Now, from what I understand, it could be used up to 1 million to 5 million gallons, so depending on the size of the data center. This is gonna be a behemoth, so it's not gonna be probably 1 million gallons. Now, how deep are they going to go to, you know, into the aquifers? And are they going to drain the first one, go to the next one, go to the next one, or are they going to go down so far that it's not going to affect anybody because it's too costly to drill down that far? Has anybody asked that question? I'm assuming that's no.
So again, Bob, we're not doing the
Okay,
big.
so it's something I think you got to take into consideration because, you know, the farmer's not going to drill 2,000 feet. That's not going to happen. But he's going to be down 40, 60 feet to get, you know, a 12-inch well so he can pump it up to do his fields. If we're competing with that at 1 million gallons a day, if I'm not mistaken, he said the new system is set up for 350,000 gallons, the new tank?
Oh,
is that what I
water
understand?
tank?
Yeah, the water tank is 350,000?
No, the new water tank is 1 million gallons.
1 million gallons, okay.
The old
So
one's 350,000.
Okay, so they could actually drain that in one day, okay, or times 5. So you're gonna put up 5 more if they need it? You know, these are the questions I'm asking because, you know, it just, common sense would tell you, yeah, let's think about this. We need to put some guardrails up here, okay? Instead of just bouncing down the highway, let's put some guardrails up and say, okay, this is what's gonna happen. This is what we need to really look into because, let's face it, we all live in this community and I don't wanna be drinking sludge water. I've seen the videos, I don't know how true it is, you know, I could go out and throw dirt in my water too.
Well, I do
Say,
hate to cut you off, but we are at time.
boo.
Sorry.
Hey, my name is Corey Malcolm, address 20357 Longbow Court, Bristol, Indiana. The gentleman in front of me was speaking to you. I want to turn behind and speak to you. I'm a visual person. I want to see a show of hands. Who's for this data center? Raise your hand right now. Who is against this data center? Please raise their hand right now. I'm aware of what it does to the environment and the people around us. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Chris. Appreciate the comment.
Hi, my name is Jenny Ritchie. I live at 901 North Division Street. So I am a cybersecurity and networking major in school right now, and I do like digital forensics for the Notre Dame Police Department. So I definitely understand the need for data centers. You know, the world is changing. We've got technology everywhere, obviously, you know, looking around and stuff. But we don't need it in Bristol. You know, this town is really small. And I mean, like, what are we doing? Why are we bringing a data center into Bristol? I mean, you could throw, you know, a ball clear across the town. It's that small. We definitely do not need a data center here. And there's a reason why, you know, different towns and states and even countries at this point are banning them. I mean, heck, even China, like, we know how technology, sorry, I'm so nervous, how advanced they are in technology. They're starting to put them in the ocean. So if China's doing that, why are we building them in our small towns? You know, we don't have the resources for it, and the surrounding towns are gonna start reaping, you know, the resources that's going to be, you know, taken. So I just don't understand why we're having this conversation. You know, like, we need data centers, but just not in Bristol. I mean, that's why they're putting them in more like secluded areas, you know, and stuff like that. And it's like, they're not bringing in that much job employment and stuff. I mean, 20 to 50 people max. Like, by the time I graduate college, I'm not even gonna be, you know, able to work at one. You know, you gotta be senior staff, security, something like that. Like, they're not going to be bringing in as much attraction, you know, as we think that they are. And I don't know why we're gonna wanna be, you know, a statistic. You know, why are we bringing in the data center when we could be bringing in something that attracts people? You know, I have family in like different states in Germany. When I like bring them home, I'm not showing them the data center. I'm taking them out of town. You know what I mean? Like, I want something in town that's going to bring people in. You know, some kind of attraction or just anything other than a data center, because I really think that it's going to tear this town apart. I mean, I don't even know what else to say. Like, a data center. Like, it's just, this is not the place for it. And honestly, any small town is not the place for it. Protect your town, protect your people, protect your resources. That's all I'm asking.
My name is Ernest Davis, 1006 Mallard Drive, Bristol, Indiana. I'm running for Bristol Town Council. And I think it's appropriate to say tonight that all of these people sat here and raised their hands and said that they did not want a data center. Correct, guys? And these guys entrusted all of you and voted for you with this fiduciary status that you have. Correct? And the backhand to their faces right now, by not responding in 2 weeks, is what I'm hearing, saying that you have control or you don't have control, is disrespectful. So this data center, I'm just wondering what we need a data center for. What's it gonna hold? And I can tell you what it'll hold. Medical records, flock camera footage, your social security card information, your bank information, etc. So, medical records, thank you. So once they have that information, then what? We all in Bristol will be under complete surveillance. So one of the biggest factories here is Monogram Foods, is what I read from my studies. And with the spike in the utility costs that I read, if Monogram Foods relocates, who's gonna fit the bill? You guys wanna know who's gonna fit the bill? We are. And I didn't move to Bristol for that. And I'm sure these people didn't vote for that either. So I just wanted to say, it's absolutely disrespectful that these people entrusted you. You just slap them in the face like that.
Thank you, Mr. Davis.
Hi, guys. First, I'm going to say, well, I'm Allie Taylor. My address is 708 East Jefferson Street, Goshen, Indiana, 46526. I first want to thank you for making sure that we have a more accommodating venue for this meeting today. I also want to thank you all for extending the time to hear us out for a little bit longer. I know we're all just humans in this room trying to catch up to this fast-moving world, and even you guys sitting there, I have an immense amount of respect for you because I don't know what it'd be like to be on that side of the table. I know a lot of people are scared, and that's where this anger is coming from, and some people don't have anything or the emotional, to explain their feelings without it coming out in anger. So I understand that's probably hard for you guys to go through as well. What I did hear at the beginning of your statement, which was thought out and lengthy, is that you don't know if or if not there is going to be a data center in place. The town has spoken with data center owners. They have not spoken with data center owners at all, but they have in this past 5 years spoke with 6 data center developers. Terminology like that makes it a little confusing to the constituents to know and to put their trust in you. If you don't know what's going on, how are we supposed to know what's going on? We want to work with you and not against you, but when you're telling us you don't know what's going on, when all we really want to hear is, no, we don't agree with data centers, we don't know how to get there, but we're going to figure it out all together. As far as the non-zoning moratorium, definitely would like to see that in place, and hopefully with the extensive research, Alex, that you did, you can put more research into that, and maybe some research and effort into speaking to maybe Marshall County and how they went against and how they got their ban on their data centers. Maybe potentially you guys actually trying to work together to answer these questions for us instead of I don't knows might make us feel a little more comfortable. I don't know, we need transparency. We need you to take care of this before it's too late. Just the I don't knows, I think, is creating a lot of fear and a lot of uncertainty. And we have not once heard like a definite we are against this or we are not. And the I don't knows makes it feel like there is a potential. So I don't know, more transparency, maybe more for sure answers would be great. And that's all I got for you today, folks. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Taylor.
Hello, my name is Teresa Hartman. I live at 53029 Pine Brook Drive. I want to thank everybody for their comments. I agree with everything you've said. I do not want the data center for many reasons. One issue that wasn't brought up that I think of is the safety of the Bristol people. I do believe if the data center comes to Bristol that we could potentially be a military target. And that's also putting our safety in jeopardy. I don't trust the crazy people in this world, and I do believe we could become a military target, any data center. So, safety first. Thank you so much.
Lori Stickle, 2520 County Road 15, Elkhart. Last meeting, I was very naive about data centers. I am not an AI person. I don't have a computer, but I do have a cell phone. And the research that I have done by talking to other people and the articles I've read, I'm questioning if we don't have the data center go in, is that a horrible thing? I mean, so what if we run out of AI? I know how to dial a phone. I'm all about antiques. So maybe Bristol needs to become the antique town. It's just something to think about, and maybe a little bit more clarification as to the if there isn't a data center, what does that clarify? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Stickle.
Hi, it's Janet Swank. I live at 20277 County Road 18. My family, I grew up, I'm an Evans. A lot of the people know the Evanses around. My dad lives at County Road 23. My brother lives on County Road 14, and I have a whole bunch of family that lives on County Road 14. My grandparents bought their farm in 1954 when they passed away. Tony actually is the one who purchased it and was living there. And now my brother has purchased it again from you. And I love being at my family farm, and I am involved in Bristol, even though I don't live in Bristol. I was on the Bristol Lions, did a lot of volunteer work. I consider myself a Bristol person, even though I'm in Jefferson Township now. I hunt turkey. I don't look like a hunter, but I hunt turkey out there, and my dad's property, clear back behind the old schoolhouse, you know, he has property clear back there. When I walk out in the middle of the night right now, it is lit up with Bristol factories. My question is there something when you guys are planning the new, whatever business is going there, I hope it's not a data center, because that'll, for so many reasons. But when the new factories or new things go in there, is there a way that you can have it so that there's not spotlights that shine out across the fields? You can't even see the stars anymore. We fish at a pond that's out there at the family farm. We camp out there. My brother farms there. It has just, there's already all this light pollution. There's a lot of sound pollution. I just cannot imagine what it's going to be like if a data center comes into our area. It is just going to change so many things on so many people's lives. And it scares me. And right now, I mean, like I said, I can walk out to hunt turkey in the morning time, and I can see where I'm going in the middle of the night because of those factories shining straight across. And you know where they're going to build is going to be directly behind several of my nieces. And it just scares me for their children when they grow up, and what that is physically. It's not just the sound that you're going to see or the light. There's going to be things vibrating through them that you don't even feel it's going to affect them. Let alone the groundwater. I mean, we just don't have all these answers. Thank you, guys. I know my time's up. Thank you for extending the time for us. Thank you for hearing us.
Thank you, Jen. Appreciate your comments.
Joe Boyer, 51763 County Road 23, Bristol, Indiana. I just have one question, and that is, what was the threat assessment to have this many police officers here?
It's a public meeting, and we just wanted to make sure we had order.
Had order? Yeah, okay.
Anita McLean, 19850 Whisper Wind Court here in Bristol. My question is, you know, we've talked a lot about quality of life, the dangers to the environment, the danger to wildlife. What is going to happen to our property values? Not everybody wants to stay in Bristol forever, so when we need to leave, who's going to want to come? Who's going to want to buy my home when they can hear the hum of a data center a half mile down the road? Who's going to want to buy my home when the lights are beaming all night long and they can't even shut their windows and go to sleep? So has anybody even considered who's going to want to come to Bristol and live here and buy our properties when we need to go? How is that even going to happen when we have this data center that's going to just destroy our property values? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Gary Newman, 57386 County Road 19. Just got a couple of things to bring up here. I've listened to all the power, the electric, the plumbing, and water. Noise and everything that these data centers cause. I have a personal thing that has happened to me. We bought brand new appliances not more than 3 years ago. About a year after we had them, the refrigerator went off. TV went out, computer went out. I called the electric company and I said, "We got a problem here." They sent a tech out. He checked their lines, and then he checked my house completely, said there's nothing wrong. He said, "Oh, by the way, the company is aware that we do not have enough electricity to fully power everybody. So they have installed in the system what they call flicker devices. What that does is it switches from one grid to another." He said, "These grids are all connected together." And I said, "Well, would that cause power surges?" Because that's what I was told when they came out and repaired my refrigerator. That's what I was told when I got a brand new computer after I had one only a year. That's what I was told when I got my TV replaced after a year. It was because of the spike in electricity. So that took care of the electricity problem. But now, you got to be careful what these guys that are putting these data centers in are saying. I've attended St. Joe County meetings. I've attended the Port County meetings. They said, well, they're one of the data centers over there in New Carlisle put in a request for a permit to dump 35 million gallons of water a day in a canal that won't take it. That same individual that put that permit request in an interview later, about 2 weeks later, he was being interviewed. And that subject was brought up, and he said, "Oh, well, we're not going to cool our water with the water in the ground, or our equipment with the water in the ground." He said, "We're going to truck it in. It's going to have the cooling chemicals in it. Then when we're done using it, we're going to truck it back out." Well, I kind of wondered where he's going to take it. And how many trucks are you going to bring in to bring in 35 million gallons of water a day? These guys are selling these other counties, and I don't hold it against you people because you've now been educated enough, I don't think, on data centers. But South Bend, St. Joe County, LaPorte, they're getting a good education. So my concern is we may not be able to do a ban like Marshall County, which I applaud them tremendously for it. But if we're going to talk moratorium, if moratoriums can be affected, let's not go a 1 year moratorium. 5 years, 10 years. Let's see what happens to St. Joe County and LaPorte County.
I'm sorry to
See what-
disturb it. We're at time. Thank you for your comment.
Hello, my name is Roxanne Sleeper. My address is 609 Morningstar Court, Middlebury, Indiana. My question to y'all are you guys going to do a long-term study? Do you understand the effects that potentially put in a data center will not do to just the environment, the people, the land, our water, our environment? There are so many factors that these data centers affect. Are you willing to put those effects into all these people here and those who are not here? Are you willing to do that to the people of this county? Question, are you?
Again, we're taking comments.
Well, long-term effects, we don't know, but we see what is happening, and we see what is happening to the people of this area. Just take in consideration what's going to do to us, not just your pocketbooks. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment.
Susan Lunas, 54130 Eastview Drive. Last town council meeting, I talked about noise. I'm going to talk about noise again. I have some questions. What currently zoned M1, M2 properties within the town limits currently operate at 80 decibels 24/7? Has a survey been done like that? My second question is, are there current zone M1, M2 properties that have the potential for development because they're a golf course
or something like that. And my questions stem from the fact that the town council does have the ability to review and adjust noise ordinance. So let me help you dig into that further, please. Can we get some answers soon? Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Loomis.
Hello. Please bear with me. I hate public speaking. My name is Ellen Carriger. I live at 23400 Forest Lane in Elkhart. I grew up in Bristol. My parents have lived here for 36 years. When my husband was retiring from the Marine Corps after 20 years, we knew we wanted to come back to this community. This county is where we want to raise our children. While we may not currently have a Bristol address, we will again one day when we move our family back into my forever home where my parents are. No matter where we have lived, Bristol has always been home. I love this town. I hope those of you serving on this town council feel the same. This is why I am asking to support Elizabeth's idea of the rezone of a Elizabeth, what was it? Thank you, a non-zoning moratorium. A year would be great, permanent would be better. The proposed Bristol location is close to both of my parents' house and our own. The noise pollution, air quality, and water usage are major causes for concern, specifically for my disabled mother and my veteran husband who's in remission from AML, a form of leukemia. The thought of having a data center so close makes me feel sick. Your neighbors and community members are asking you to listen. Please hear us when we say we don't want a data center. We want a safe community to call home, clean water running from our faucets, and to hear the birds sing when we step outside. We want that for our children and our grandchildren too. Most decisions in my life have been made with one question in the back of my mind. Can I live with myself if I do or don't do whatever action is in front of me? I ask you all the same question. Can you live with yourselves if you allow a data center to infiltrate this beautiful town and harm your neighbors? Please vote to pass the moratorium and let your legacy on this council be helping your neighbors.
Thank you. I appreciate the comments.
Is this on?
Yes.
Good evening. My name is Michelle Nowicki. I live at 20879 Arcadia Drive in Bristol. I agree with Elizabeth Hall's non-zoning moratorium. I agree with the gentleman who suggested that it be more than a year. I don't think that we're going to know all of the long-term ramifications before that. It may even be longer. I'm going to assume, given some of the information that you gave before everybody started speaking, that 5 years ago, everybody was getting on this bandwagon of, they were being approached, all the towns were being approached. And so you guys have been looking at it for that long. And I can understand that back then, none of us knew anything about it, but we're learning more and more and more and more every day. And so I agree with everybody else. This is a terrible idea, at least until the technology catches up and we can have something that's not going to drain our water supply, create noise, create all this unwanted stuff. So I hope that you guys will keep that in mind as you move forward. Thanks.
Thank you, Michelle. Appreciate the comments. Anyone else?
Hi, my name is Herlinda, and we live at 56474 County Road 29 in Goshen. And I'm just here to voice my opinion. I do not approve of. I heard recently that there's going to be an addition right by Waypoint Church, and I already was against data centers. It doesn't matter if it's here, Bristol, anywhere. I really don't see I feel like the benefits outweigh outweigh what consequences they have on the townspeople, on our community, really. And I really don't. Well, I'm just here to say I really didn't have time to prepare for this. I'm like a mother of 3, and we have 3 stepkids, or bonus kids. And I really just look at this, and I feel sad because I feel like we're gonna, if this does come out to be, my kids or my kids' kids, my grandkids won't have, the resources that we have now. And I honestly think this is, if we do approve this, it's like we have like money interest. I also, one more thing, money interest, and that is really not gonna do us any good in the long run. So, sorry, my speech was not so eloquent like the others and like Elizabeth's. But I do just want to voice my opinion, and I thank you guys for the time that was extended for us to speak. I hope we can work hand in hand to make a solution that's for the best of all of us. So thank you.
Thank you, and you did just fine. Thank you for your comments.
Hi, my name is Linda Clark. I live at 19620 County Road 16, Bristol. I had one question about the legal moratorium. Just my scanning of AI while I was sitting here, it looks like Citizens Action has a presentation for the state for a moratorium, and it looks like a lot of other counties have moratoriums. So what happens if Bristol passes this data center and the moratoriums, the state and the county has spoken, but Bristol isn't involved in that. The data center is going to go ahead in Bristol. So that's kind of a procedural question. And then it sounds to me like the mitigation aspects that they're talking about with the study firm, the engineering people that are meeting with neighbors, all have to do with zoning, like lights and berms and things like that. But everything I'm listening to here is environmental. And I just wanted to make some comments that if it's within your authority to put restrictions on water usage and lights and anything that might affect the environment, I would encourage you to do that. And one thing that's kind of a bone of contention with me is that we're dealing with unknown petitioners or unknown people that are coming in. We're approving something, but they don't have to. We just don't know what we're just saying come in and build in our community, and we're not restricting you. So that's just I don't know if I'm making that clear or not. But the other thing, the show of hands of the people that were here when we polled how many people were against the data center, I just would like the record to show that I think there's 200, I counted approximately 200 people here tonight. And then as far as what you use in your decision-making process, I think the overwhelming majority of people in Bristol and in Washington Township, I mean, Bristol and Washington Township are virtually the same due to annexations. I just think there's widespread opposition to this. And I think if you look at like the research, if you really looked at the verified studies like Citizens Action Coalition, the effects, I mean, there's no arguing that the effects of the environmental effects of these data centers are something like we've never seen before. And that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Appreciate your comments. Okay, if not, we will close the privilege of the floor. I do want to ask by a show of hands, how many Bristol residents, and by Bristol resident, I mean if you have a 3 or 4 digit address and you live in the town limits of Bristol, can you raise your hand? Okay. So I would say probably a third, maybe a third of us are Bristol residents. Just to kind of put it in perspective, $2,500 cost to the Bristol taxpayers to move the venue from our Bristol Town Hall to here. And that was a request by the majority of out-of-town residents. We had, the last meeting we had LaGrange County, Kosciuszko County, Elkhart, Middlebury. We checked how many people actually spoke at our last meeting. There were 11 Bristol residents that spoke. We moved the venue here tonight because of that. You folks asked for that, and we did that. It cost us, you're welcome. It cost the town and the taxpayers $2,500 to move it here. I will say this, moving forward, our meetings will go back to the town hall. That's where we conduct our business. That's where we've always conducted our business. So moving forward, we will not be changing venue. We will cycle people. If we have more people, then we allow 45 people in the room. We will have chairs for 45 people. If we need to cycle people through to speak, we will do just like we did last time. So I just wanted to put that out there for everybody. John, I'm not shaming anybody, I'm sharing facts. You guys want facts? I'm sharing facts. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next item on the agenda, which are town council discussion items. Doug, anything tonight? Tony, anything tonight? Kathy, anything tonight? Greg, anything tonight? Okay, our next meeting will be July 2nd. That will be at Town Hall. With that said, is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Tony, second by Kathy. All in favor? Aye.